Hi, I'm Alice Tai, Paralympic gold medalist and multiple world record holder. I got into swimming mainly for two reasons. I had a ton of surgery as a kid, so I used hydrotherapy and it was a good way to keep active, non-weight bearing. And the second, which is kind of how I got into club swimming, I grew up by the sea in Bournemouth, so it was pretty important that I could swim. By the time I turned 12, I'd had 14 surgeries on both my legs. It's made me ridiculously stubborn, and I'm kind of grateful for it because when I train now, like my pain threshold's so high, and sometimes my coach will tell me off because he's like, you're trying too hard. Last January, I had my right leg amputated below the knee. I was born with a condition called bilateral talipes or club feet. It just got so bad in my right foot that it was easier to have an amputation, and I just went for it. It meant I was out of the pool for a good few months, but then I ended up at Commonwealths, winning at Commonwealths about 6 months later. That was cool. For me, para-swimming and the community really allowed me to feel more comfortable in myself. I never really accepted that I had a disability until I was thrown into that environment. Sometimes you don't want to accept that you have a disability, but when you go onto poolside and you look around and every single person there has a disability and they're swimming amazing and you get to know them as athletes and as people, that for me, kind of really just made me so proud of who I am and proud to be disabled. Swimming is a very Caucasian sport. I never accepted that I was half Chinese when I was growing up. I was honestly convinced that I was white for most of my life, and I think that's really sad. But I've become way more comfortable in who I am, and I'm trying to speak up and create more of a platform because there is a lack of diversity in the sport. And if there's another girl who's East Asian or just not Caucasian who sees me and is like, like I relate, I see myself in her, then that's amazing. And the more that message is spread and the more diversity there is, then it's gonna get to a point hopefully where, people don't need role models to stand up and kind of wave their arms because everyone will just be completely integrated. Right, periods in swimming is a huge thing, and now my coach is great, and sometimes I have really bad cramps and I can't get out of bed, I can't do anything for the day, even if I want to. And before I used to feel really guilty about not going training because that was, there was so much associated with it, and it was kind of, you can't miss a session, it's just a period. And now my coach is like, have a day off, have some pain relief, do what you need to do, and then come back tomorrow if you feel ready. And I feel like there needs to be way more understanding through coaches and athletes. I've realized there's a real lack of education about what to use in terms of sanitary products with swimming. I remember a few years ago, there were a few athletes that I was talking to, younger girls, and they were wearing a tampon at a meet, and they were like, I'm just gonna keep it in the whole day. And that's terrifying, toxic shock syndrome is terrifying. And I know it's difficult, especially if you're in a race suit, because you've got to take it off and change your tampon and stuff. But that is something that never got taught to me. I think the amputations actually made me more positive in general. I love how free it makes me feel in the pool. I think you've just got to have faith in your coach and in yourself as well.